It's not that many COVID people. So here's what I want to do. I want to practice what we did in October because it's been a hot minute. You guys ready? So let's get going. Let's try this. Let's get our heads about how to escape from jail. Let's remember how to do this. So let's start with this bad boy, right? You're writing it on your whiteboard. Max, are you writing this on your whiteboard? Yeah. Right on. So remember what we want to do is in order to get out of this jail, you need a twin, right? And so you're going to have to break people up to see who's actually in there, right? So you can break it up a lot of ways, 25 and 2, 5 and 10, however you want. I'm going to break it up 5 and 10 because 10's always nice for me. I'm going to break that up into 5 and 2. Remember what we would say is, quick, I'm taking. Brooke, this is you with your Chromebook. Add career. Okay. So, remember what we would do? We would take these guys and say, okay, I got a pair of twins. One gets out, one dies in the process, right? So what comes out is going to be 5 root 2, right? Everybody's good on that. That's like career counseling. Yeah. Okay, so easy. Let's try another one. Let's step up our game. You're doing this one all on your own, please. We're saying, what about 48? Ooh, that's gonna break up into a lot of different things. That is a chunky one. That's got a lot. So Eleanor, you probably learned this as looking for perfect squares, and that's great. But the reason I don't love that method is because I don't always know the perfect squares that go into this. So what I'm really doing is time factoring, and you need 2 because that makes a perfect square to come out. And I make it like a jail because then it's good and interesting and you got. And I love that part. I think I split this up into 6 and 8. And again, this is why I do this method because I can split it up however I want. I'm going to split this up into 3 and 2. And 4 and 2 and 2 and 2. Looks like I got a lot of 2s coming out, right? So I've got this pair of 2s. 1 comes out, 1 dies in the process. I got this pair of 2s. He comes out, 1 dies in the process. That poor 3 has no one to pair up with, so that's what I go. But I don't want it to look like 2.2. What do I rewrite that as? 4 square root of 3. Awesome. 4 square root of 3. And again, to Eleanor, I would have had to know that 16 went into 48, and I just don't know that because I'm an idiot, right? So that's why I do it this way. But if you like that other way, you can stick with that. Okay, so we started doing that. Let's take a look at this because we did a little bit of this action. Ooh, what about this? I'm seeing lots of good answers out there. I'm seeing lots of people flicking all the way down. Yes, it is. Chelsea, I heard that. Did you get 2i root 5? Yeah. So remember, when it's got a square root, we don't like having negatives inside of a square root, and they come out as an I, right? We're going to do a couple more just to get our brains going a little bit. How about this action? Let's pick a nice number. 12 x to the 4th, y to the 5th. How about that action? So here's what I'm adding in. I'm layering a little bit of stuff in here. And what I'm putting on this one is remembering we can do this with letters, right? And the letters are easy. There's 2 ways to do it. There's the long cut, where you write all the letters out and you circle the pairs. Or the shortcut, where you just divide that by 2 and divide that by 2. If you have a remainder, it stays inside. right? So if you are sophisticated enough to just do it by dividing in your head, that's awesome. If you're more like me and you just write it out and circle them, that is cool as well. Both ways work. Love. Hearing so much good conversation out there. Nice. 4 and 3, 2 and 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, we're keeping an eye up here just to make sure we're okay. The 2s are easy. 2 comes out, 1 dies in the process, and I'm going to go ahead and give myself some space. That 3 is staying inside. Gentlemen and ladies. Now I'm going to start doing my X's. That pair comes out, 1 dies in the process. That pair comes out, 1 dies in the process. A Y comes out, another Y comes out, this Y stays. Now that would be okay, but that's not very fancy, right? We like them to be written fancy. And to write these fancy, what we're going to do is we're going to change this up a tiny bit, put a square there and a square there. I'm going to have 1 more Y left inside, Max, because I have too many. I have an odd number, so 1's going to be left inside. Okay, last review, and then we are going to head on to worse jails. If you can do this, you got everything. So let's see if we can make this a crazy one. -5 square root sine 18 x5 y. There you go. This is our last of our review, and then we're going to layer on. While you're doing that, I'm going to count out some notes for you. Don't worry about the first problem where you skip it. That's amazing. Oh, sorry. You know that happens in the life of jail. And they write so that's her.
If they're going to go to jail for
Okay, so here we go. We're going fast. I'm going to do this one really fast. I'm going to do it in my head. -15 x squared y 2xy. How did I do? Did I do okay? Did I get that right? Am I good? How did I do? Did I get wrong, Mariel? Am I okay? Am I good? Thank you. Was worried. Okay, so here's what. We need to get to the part on the paper that looks like this. So here's what's happening. So this is the part that's new, so I need it quiet so my taping can work here. This is what we have been doing, and it looks like that, square root of 8. You don't have to write that, you're just watching. Here is what we're adding on today. And even here is what we're adding on today. The little letters, the little numbers are there. So here's what we're saying. Normally, we have nothing there. You're the best. You're my favorite. Okay, so normally we have nothing right there, but that's not true. We just don't have the word minimum security prison there. Really, what we have is a prison that requires twins, which means you are looking for pairs. So what is really right there is the number 2. But because these are so familiar and we use them so often, we leave that 2 out. That little space in here, that little thing in there has a name, and it's called the index. And what the index does, the index job is it tells you how many guys you need to escape from jail. And the more challenging a jail is, the more guys you need. So imagine this in your head. You've got this little wall, and you have a pretty low security jail. You only need 2 2s, right? A 2 here and a 2 here, and we know what happens. This guy gets out, and this guy gets mowed down in the process. Good try, twin. You tried to help your brother out. You gave up your life. That's a low security prison. What's going to happen tonight is we're going to start raising that wall up a little higher, and now we're at a medium security prison. And 2 twins won't do it anymore. Look what happens. They stand, they're not even close to getting over the wall. You need now triplets. And what happens with triplets is kind of the same thing. 1 guy gets out, 1, but this time 2 guys get mowed down in the process, right? Sadly, they gave their lives up, but that guy got out, right? And if you're at a supermax prison, right, then you've got the highest wall of all, and what's going to happen there, and it can go to 5 or 6 or 7, I guess that would be like a prison, like off the United States or something, like one of those black box places. You might need 4. So you got a 2 and a 2 and a 2, and the last guy makes it out. Oh, and sadly, the other quadruplets die in the process. That's what an index does. Is there always an index? Yes. But if it's just 2, we can leave it off because we use those so often. It's like I don't have to put that 2 every single time. So if you see nothing, it's not that there's nothing. We assume that it's a 2, right? If there's nothing, it's there. It's just a hidden 2, right? So let me give you some words for those friends of mine who are heading to pre-calc where they will not use jail and guy in jail. They're going to use actual math words. So this sign right here, you know what that's called. That's called the radical sign. That's called the radical sign. And here's a scary word that I never use. But the stuff inside, not actually called guy in jail. It's actually called the radicand. Will I ever use the scary word radicand? Probably not. But again, some of you are heading on, and you're going to be like, I've heard that word before. So our job today is we're going to try these higher order ones. You guys ready to do this? We got this. So if you want to turn your paper over, we're going to do some notes, and I have them here. So here's why you're not going to love these. You're not going to love these because they are clearly going to have to split up more stuff because I obviously have to have more people in jail to take out triplets and quadruplets, right? So if you're like, Miss T, why are these numbers so much bigger than we used to do? And it's like, because I got to shove more people in jail. Options, right? Okay, thanks. So let's start with what we know with a 2, right? Nice and easy. You guys could just watch. You don't even have to do this. Split, split. Take a pair. 2 comes out. 2 stays in. That's a 2. How do I know it's a 2? Because it's there automatically if it's nothing else. Looking for twins. But now we head over to a medium security prison. You're not going to get away with just 2 of you. You're going to need to find sets of 3. So here we go. You guys ready? Let's split this guy up. Now, you're going to have to get probably tonight a phone or a calculator because some of them you're not going to be able to split up in your head. I'm going to split this one up easy anything with a 0 on the end is 10, right? So 25 and 10. And then I'm going to go ahead. Are you still taping? Please be taping. Yeah. I'm going to split this up into 5 and 5, 5 and 2. And look at that. I have 3. So the 5s try to get out. 2 die in the process. So here's what's left, and you're going to have to write this carefully. The 5 is out. The 2 is in, but I need to warn people who are walking down the street, be careful, it's a medium security prison, right? I can't leave that 3 up because that lowers the fence, right? I need to keep that fence that certain height because I don't want those people getting out, right? Okay, that's a 3. Let's try a 4. Let's try a 4th root. That's what that's called, a 4th root. Square root, cube root, 4th root. So splitting it up any way you want, I'm going to do 8 and 6. I'm going to do that as 4 and 2. And that's going to be 2 and 2, so many, and 2 and 3. And you're going to see now why we have to do so many, because finding 4 of them, that's a lot. There's a lot of damn 2s in there. So 1, 2, 3, 4 try to come out. 3 give their lives for their brother. Be free, brother. He leaves. The 3 stays behind, but for the love of God and all that's good and holy, keep that wall nice and high, right? Keep that wall nice and high. Okay, we're going to step up our game a little bit. I am skipping a screen. We're going to come back to it. Can we do it with letters? I'm going to skip this one because we did it in the starter. Can we try this one? Here's what. We're looking for sets of 3. It works the same way as sets of 2, but in this case, make sure when you write out your X's and Y's, you're circling sets of 3. Are we ready? Here we go. I'm going to go 4 and 10. I'm going to go 2 and 2, 2 and 5. And here I go. This is what's new. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Oh, those are supposed to be Y's. Sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, here we go. Some of you are going to be a little bit faster, but I'm showing every step, but some of you are going to be able to skip some steps. So the first thing I know, I'm going to take out the 2s. 2 die. 1 comes out. The 5 is left inside. Now this part gets a little dicey. I'm looking for sets of 3. 1 set of 3, 2 die. 1 stays inside. And on this one, 1 set of Y's, 2 sets of Y's. So what comes out is Y squared. Are you cool with that? 2 sets of Y's. Huh? Because I had 1 set of Y's, so it was a Y1, and another set of Y's, so a second Y. I could write it like this if I wanted to, Gav. I could do this.
I just thought it was going to be on both sides.
No, what's left is anyone who has no triplets to pair up. Do you see? He gets left because I had an extra. But this one I had no extra. Good question. Okay, we got, we're going to skip back. Okay, now I got to be honest. In A period, I went around and I told this next part only to the pre-calc kids, like one by one. In first period, I told everyone and they could get it. So let's see how you do with this. So here's what I need to tell you. So let's talk about the negative. So real quick in this guy, when I have a negative in there, it comes out as an I, right? Because I can't have a negative. But here's what's weird. When these guys are to the 3rd power or any odd index, the negative is not an issue. And let me show you why. If you're not heading to pre-calc, if you right now you're thinking, she's starting to blow my mind, you can stop listening. But if you're heading to pre-calc, you need to watch this. -2 times -2 times -2. That's 3 of them. And you know what that makes? it makes -8. You can actually get a negative number when you have sets of 3. So here's what the takeaway is. If your thing in this, the index, is even, it makes I's. If the index is odd, it just comes out as a regular old negative, right? It just comes out as a regular old negative, and it's perfectly okay, right? So even index for my pre-calc friends, it's an I. Odd index, it's a negative. It totally doesn't mess anything up, right? And that's just a weird rule that you need to know for pre-calc. Maybe not for calc, or maybe not for stat as much. So we're going to do one last problem. If you are not heading to pre-calc, I'd like you to try this problem, and I'd like you to ignore that negative. Just pretend it's not there. If you are heading to pre-calc, you know what? All you have to do is pull the negative out. And there you go, right? So try this problem. I'm going to give you a hint. This splits up into 25 and 15. Try it from there. And you got that skanky chick waiting out front. If you could, she's waiting for prisoners. She's kind of skinny. Okay, you know what? That's judgmental. Maybe her husband or her wife is in jail, and maybe
Realize
she,
how often the American prison system.
that's right, exactly. You know, that's pretty judgy of you. That she's waiting for her family member, and her family member may have just made a mistake and is paying the price, and she's being a good partner. I apologize, Six. You're a good woman.
They had a kid together.
That's right. She's doing right by her or him. Yes, yes, yes. And if you're doing it with, because you're heading to pre-calc, make it a negative, right? Because we pulled that negative out. It's not an I, because it's a 3. It's a negative. Good, 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 good. What happened? I'm going to do it. Want me to do it? Want to check? No. Not yet?
No, do it.
How'd I do? I just did that in my head. Did I do it? Did I get it right? Yeah? Did you get it right? Yeah? Now, if you're heading to pre-calc and you got that, Natalia, did you get that? Yeah, honest? Honest, I'm watching you. Okay. That's it? Wow.